It's Blabs week, so watch her host. Raise your glass and give a toast. She may fail, and that's okay. Don't forget that Den Best. It's Blabs week, so watch her host. She's so good, she'll surely boast. It's Blabs week and time to start. It's time to go right now, Blabs. Let's go right now. Blabs.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
I couldn't. Anyway, hello guys, it's Craig. I'm sorry, Craig is not here. The worst part ever. But it's okay, I'm here, and I got Extrazero as well.
What's going on?
Sorry, I was just laughing at that intro to pay attention to anything else I was supposed to be doing.
I wasn't expecting Craig to sing you.
No.
You know.
He told me not to watch it, so I'm glad I didn't because that was great. Anyway, I also have Arch today. How are you doing?
Hello, thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. And we got Yellow Flash, of course. Happy Monday.
Morning.
What do you think of that intro? I didn't expect Craig to sing.
That's good.
All right. Anyway, hello, guys. Hello, chat. All right, let's get this going. You know the drill. I got to tell you all the stuff. So, you can find us on Rumble, Twitter, Instagram. That's right, Blabs. Yes, whole thing. Spotify, Locals. We need 10 people to come over on Locals, by the way. So, Extrazero, if you wouldn't mind dropping the Locals link in the chat, that would be sweet. And spamming them with all. Also, we have 70.3 thousand of you guys now. That's a ton. So thank you very much. But as usual, can you guys give us the 500 likes and possibly 25 gifted memberships? That'd be great. And I'm supposed to remind you guys that we have the awesome shirts. Okay, there are 26 left as a couple of hours ago, so get them before they are gone. All right, look at that. I did the super duper fastest intro of my life. There. Anyway, hello, everybody. Let's just start with some super chats real fast. Hi, Dermy. Dermy says, hi, Blabs. I promise to be nice for you this week, mainly because it's my birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Dermy. And I'm only 80 subs away from hitting 2K. That's awesome. Congrats for your birthday. I hope you get that 2K. Jeff says that International Blabs Awareness Week. I might explode the show. We'll see. Viper says, damn it, Blabs, it's all your fault. I don't know what, but it's all your fault. This is true. I'm sorry. I would like to apologize for anything I've said. And Winterfell says, amazing intro. Thank you very much. I did not do that. So we have a lot to discuss today, so I figured we'd just jump right into it. Now, I know that Extrazero has said that he has played Destiny 2 before, but have Yellow Flash or Arch ever played Destiny 2 before?
I have played Destiny 2.
You have?
I have never touched it.
I jumped off, though, because it's too hard to maintain a group for me because I'm just busy, and you really need a dedicated group of 6 people every week to play those raids.
Yeah.
You need a group that you always play with that can do it, because playing with randos and trying to do those raids is just too hard.
It needs a lot of coordination.
Yeah. They're
just one dead weight makes it impossible to beat those. Everybody's got to have chemistry.
Make you want to come back and play it? Look at that. Ghostbusters.
I mean, that is kind of cool. I would like the Ghostbusters. Is that a can you ride that Ecto 1?
It looks like that's your ship. Because what's in the upper left is a sparrow. So it looks like a skin for your ship.
That's your ship skin. Okay, yeah. That's kind of cool. It's not going to make me come back, but I can't deny that I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's just a cheap shot to bring people in because everyone's just dipping from it. But yeah, so just a really quick hit for you guys to start off with. Archcast, you have would you ever play this with Ghostbusters?
I am kind of in Flash's side on this too, because okay, if you're going to play these, you're going to play them regularly, and that's going to require a lot of effort and a lot of dedication, and I've also just got better games than Destiny if I had to do that.
I played the hell out of Destiny 1. With Destiny 1, I had a group that I was with, but I also had a lot more time during Destiny 1. But I played a lot of Destiny 1. Destiny 2, not so much. People moved on.
The ghost is your ghost, meta. This
I mean,
is
I guess
true.
that makes sense, but I don't know. Hearing Nolan North's voice come out of Slimer, I'd expect like, what Frank, I always expect like the Frank Welker Slimer because the real Ghostbusters, but
Well, moving right along to some other really fast quick hits. Did you guys know that yesterday, March 10th, is also Mario Day? I totally forgot about it until I saw the stuff on our newsfeed. So they announced a whole bunch of things coming up in the world of Nintendo, such as a new movie going to be released April 3rd, 2026. Now, I'm assuming everybody here has seen the Mario movie, right?
oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, what'd you guys think of it?
I liked it.
Yeah?
I think it was
decent.
functional for what it did. Like
I loved
go
it.
crazy.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit overhyped, I'll be honest, but I thought it was a sweet, cute movie for kids, for sure.
Yeah. My only gripe with it is
That's who the movie's for, though. You know.
Yeah.
It was for kids. It was a movie that would make, because most of the parents probably played Mario, right? So you have people that played these games taking their kids to it. They had enough in there to make, I think, long-term fans happy and successfully brought something that kids could get on, like just keeping that brand relevant.
And I was gonna say that was my only gripe with the movies. I thought it moved a little too fast at times, and I wanted a little bit more Luigi. But again, it's made for kids, and my wife and I, we don't have any yet. We're working on that, but I'm like, yeah, this would be a great movie for when we have kids because it's 90 minutes and it moves quickly. It's not like it's gonna be, something that I'm gonna hate if it's on TV, over and over.
I hope they make a Luigi's Mansion movie.
Oh, me too.
Great. I played Luigi's Mansion, one of the games on my Switch. And that was one of the few games I actually rage quit on.
Really?
Stuck, like doing some type of Hoover thing. And I don't know, and I was completely stuck, and my entire chat was stuck with me. Like nobody knew how to progress, and so I rage quit.
Every room's a puzzle.
Yeah, but I couldn't go forward. Like I was in
You couldn't figure out those puzzles.
Yeah, I guess I'm not smart enough for Luigi's Mansion.
Imagine sucking at a game where a vacuum is the main mechanic.
You'd think as a female I'd be amazing at it, but I just. Yeah,
I didn't play the second one, which I'm looking forward to finally playing because that HD version's coming out in June.
Yeah, so I'll.
But the first one I loved. The first one I had on GameCube, I loved it. It was Resident Evil Mario.
Yeah, so Luigi's Mansion 2 HD release date announced June 27th of this year. So you get Mario Bros, Mario Tennis Open. Apparently, for some
Mario
reason,
Tennis
you get a
Open.
Power World ad.
Wait, what?
Well, no, that's not one coming. That's just a vote. I guess they're doing like a
I'm just ignoring that. Okay,
I love Mario
That's just
Tennis.
another ad.
What?
Yeah,
Ignore it. It's just another ad. I read it wrong.
but
All
Mario
right,
Tennis from the Game Boy Color one, that's a great one because that's one of the RPG tennis games.
Mario Golf is too.
Yeah,
The single player for
Camelot.
those two games are great.
Yeah.
So let's see. We have Game Boy's Mario Golf, Mario Tennis, and Dr. Mario, which I didn't know was a thing. That's adorable. Look at that. That's too funny. So that's going to be out actually tomorrow on Nintendo Switch online. And then this is what I'm actually really hyped for. Lego Mario Kart announced for 2025. So it'll hit stores in 2025. We don't need to see that. But yeah, basically, more Mario. Now, I could have sworn I saw that they were going to do like an actual video game, like Lego Mario Kart.
I would love for them to do like a Mario Kart Maker. I mean, I love the fact that they're still supporting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but it's just like they came out. Remember they had the one with the camera built into it. What was that called? Mario Kart Live or something? I have two.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember. I don't remember the name of it.
But you physically made your own tracks. But I just think we are like so ready for. And when Mod Nation Racers came out on PlayStation 3, I was like, why can't they do this with Mario Kart? And then they give it to us, and it's cardboard. You do it in your living room, and God forbid if you have dogs or carpet.
Imagine if they announced for Nintendo Mario Kart, I should say, whenever they make a new one, and you can actually have like a Lego skin.
You mean the movie said Mario Kart Home Circuit is what it was.
Ah, yes, there it is. Hi, you mean movies? They'll be on this week. Boop. All right. So yeah, I was saying like imagine if you could have like a Lego skin in your Mario Kart games. They would never do it because it's solely Nintendo, but that'd be pretty sweet.
Well, Nintendo did publish that Lego City Undercover game when it hit Wii U. So there has been cross-pollination with them before. So
Sure. All right. Well, enough Mario chat. I don't know. Chat, are you guys interested in Mario? Let me know in the comments. But
Mario's amazing.
I do like Mario. All right. If you had to choose Mario or Luigi as a sidekick in your life.
I like Luigi better because I like green.
Oh, is he taller?
I just like,
He can get that
as a
stuff on
kid,
the
I
shelf.
liked him because green was a favorite color.
What about you, Arch?
Luigi is naturally more submissive, so I'm gonna have to go with that too.
Okay, that works.
He'd be a better follower, yeah.
That's
Yep,
true.
definitely.
All right, so this one specifically, we're gonna go jump into real fast for another quick hit. Is Dungeons and Dragons senior game designer disavows how series was made by white dudes. Boasts that much of the original material would never pass our inclusivity reviews today. So, Arch, I give you the floor.
Right, this was a full interview, about a half-hour like bragging interview. This was the near the tail segment of it, and yeah, no, he literally does say that it's just what was the wording? It was a setting made for wargamers, which were all cis-het white males, etc., the usual spiel. And that none of what was created back then would pass inclusivity testing today. Like, what was the example you brought up? Swordsman, I think? That's a terrible term.
Because of men, specifically.
Yes.
Wow.
It's not inclusive enough.
I don't know. You kind of wonder where D&D is going to be in the next 10 years. If they're going to just be like, nah, fuck this. We're going back to the original source material, or just going to not even exist.
it's hard to say, especially with Hasbro and how much they waffle and how much they're in on this stuff. It's really, really hard to say. Well, didn't Hasbro sell D&D? Or are they in the process of it, or did I mishear that?
There was a rumor that they were considering.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Hasbro worked with D&D.
Yeah, Hasbro, they've gobbled up so many properties over the years, and they're also now at this point where, and I know this from what I cover, in my podcast talking about collecting, we see a lot of the stuff that Hasbro does, and they do not have the best and the brightest making decisions for them in terms of acquisitions, marketing, distribution, and then messaging. It's all like they're all fighting amongst themselves. It's bad.
You think that those games would bring in easy revenue?
Yeah,
they are. I think in terms of Dungeons and Dragons, because it's still quite profitable. What I think they're worried about is long-term profitability, because like the two of you say, right? Okay, if we know what made our thing popular and we're actively moving away from the thing that made it popular, what are we going to look like in 10 years?
I did check. They were rumored to be selling to Tencent, but as of February 1st, an article came out saying no, they're not selling to Tencent. So,
yeah, they probably wouldn't abandon that quickly, because again, they are still one of their relatively profitable branches, and Hasbro's not doing amazingly either, as they have mismanaged a lot of their stuff.
I just want to say that this one photo that I'm looking at, he looks like Daniel Radcliffe. It's Harry Potter with a wavy hair. I'm just saying. Anyway, I don't know. I think all this bullshit about how white people are bad is just the theme of today's stream. But before we get into more DEI stuff, Extrazero had a lot to say about the next topic right here. So let me pull this up. The former Activision executive reportedly pitched the idea to a table of people that included OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, a.k.a. Bobby Kotick, looks to buy TikTok, which is weird.
Yeah. What, didn't Congress just do something about TikTok?
Yeah, so they want to shut it down unless they pay.
An American buys it,
right?
And spins it off from China.
Yeah,
that's
it's
so that would explain why.
Because it is basically Chinese spyware, but I don't know if giving it to Bobby Kotick is necessarily better than Chinese spyware.
I mean, it could work out for the people as a whole. I mean, the first thing he's going to do is how can we monetize this?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you want to get people off of TikTok, granted, I mean, it might be a net positive if he starts pulling shenanigans. It might shine even more of a light on, you know, the kind of the dangers of TikTok. But it's hard to say. I just I can't think of a more deserving person to purchase a shittier platform.
Well, something that's actually interesting in here is that it says the former Activision executive reportedly pitched the idea to his table of people that included OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't he the one who has a huge amount of shareholders in Reddit that is selling their AI information, like their information to AI? Correct? Like that was one of the things that was going on like last week. I've just put 2 and 2 together, or like 2 weeks ago at this point. No?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it.
Well, as of 52 minutes ago, he just returned to ChatGPT. So he was reinstated to the OpenAI board.
Yeah, because there was a whole lot of drama about kicking him off that board.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, this is the other guy. I was thinking of the other one who has that shareholders with Reddit. And they're selling all that information to AI, but that's another man. Their names are so confusing. Okay.
I think was it Microsoft or was it Google that? No, it's Microsoft, wasn't it? That bought rights to use Reddit to gather data.
I don't remember. Let's see. Well, but then again, it says here, fears that TikTok may shut down is certainly nothing new. I mean, how many years has it been where TikTok is like, yes, no, maybe so? And they're saying throughout Donald Trump's presidency, there were numerous attempts to ban the platform in the United States. It never came to fruition, in fact, led to a lawsuit against the U.S. government.
So what's interesting is that for that Reddit sale of training data, it was to an unnamed AI company. So I think everybody was just speculating on who or which company it was. So
yeah, because there's only so many people that can buy, training data from Reddit in bulk.
True. All right. Well, we'll see what happens. I don't know. To me personally, I was never on Tumblr when I was younger, but I just feel like everyone who was on Tumblr is now on TikTok. So I just avoid all those platforms and just leave it. I'm like, I am never going on there. It's just a bunch of people like meowing and talking about their feelings and barking, and I'm like,
that is literally the entire thing. It's like 1 minute content. Oh God, the elitist in me screams in rage at the lowbrowness of it all.
And it's awful. Like, if you make something like slightly longer than a minute, let's say on Instagram or whatever, you get like no traction because all these people just want information just like that. Like, give me like the TLDR really, really fast, and then let's move on to the next topic. And I'm like, don't you want to actually sit and learn about something? No. But that's the TikTok mind nowadays. Yeah.
It is cancerous as well for just our entire society. Like the 1 minute information hits, leaving out all context, all nuance. Like,
right.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like they started doing this prior to TikTok on Snapchat. Where they would do like now this, and they'd get those trending. And to Arch's point, it would always be without context. And it's something I talk about with my wife quite a bit because she's on TikTok. And she'll say, "Oh, have you seen what they're doing here or here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, let's look at the full context of this." And she's like, "Yeah, but I saw it on." And I'm like, "Yeah, let's look," because that's the thing about that quick hit information is it's never nuanced. It's always like trying to push a point rather than
it's one sided.
Yeah.
Dale Flash,
and when everyone's come
No, I've actually, I think I made it a account one time. I don't even remember the name of it. I just made it because they made me make one because I wanted to go watch something that everybody was talking about. Some content creator. I can't remember. But, I'll probably never use it again.
Wow, I just realized this. But look at this. TikTok Mobile's app sales reached a new high in revenue, becoming the first video sharing mobile app to surpass 10 billion. Damn.
Yeah, it's earning money like grass, and I can only assume that means terrible things for us as a species.
Yeah. Godzilla 2K26 says Vine was before that. And yeah, Vine was interesting. Vine was like 10 seconds.
It was like 6 seconds, wasn't it? It was super short.
Yeah.
I actually liked Vine just because
I did too.
It was sheer stupidity. It wasn't anything about like sharing context for like changing your mind. It was literally just like spoofs and jokes and things like that.
Isn't that
like,
where
the Vine guy? Yeah.
Isn't that where the Paul brothers are from?
I think so.
Yep. When it
Yeah,
died,
there
they
was
all went over to
Oh.
YouTube, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 7 seconds.
7 seconds ago.
mysteriously, all of them grew unfathomably quickly on YouTube as well.
No.
Almost
It's
like they were
weird.
pushed by the algorithm. It's crazy.
Mm.
weird
Well,
that
that's
Twitter-
a conspiracy theory, Flash. Don't you know?
Twitter did buy Vine and shut it down. Why doesn't Elon bring it back? I guess he's more interested in having long form videos on the platform. But to me, I think that everybody's trying to compete with the YouTube Shorts, and I don't know.
No. Before we go on to the next topic, I do have a couple of Rumble Rants and Superchats to get to. So, Dude on Rumble says for $1, Mario Kart Maker, just have Mario Kart steal more ideas from F-Zero to make it continually obsolete. F-Zero X D&D expansion had a track maker feature. All right, thanks, Dude. And then B Barrett for 2 says D and DEI. Yeah, that's the new Dungeons and Dragons name, D and DEI. I like that. All right, we're caught up on Rumble. Let me get to some super chats. Ramdog says side scroll hymns today. Yes, we are all. Did you just assume my pronoun? Razorburn member for 3 months. Hey, did any of you check out Film Threat's Oscar stream? It was more entertaining
I
than
didn't
the
know they
Oscars
had one.
itself. I did not check it out. I just avoid the Oscars, except every time the BBC app would just alert me saying it was breaking news. It's like a dude in a dress. I'm like, are you sure this is breaking news? Where
Yeah,
I
are you
don't
sure
know.
this is the BBC?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Tomok for 20 says, so Arch, could tell the panel why you love NTR. What is NTR?
Yeah. Ah, yes, that's my favorite joke fetish. Cuckolding, because I think it's funny.
What? I need
Yes.
some more explanations here.
Hentai NTR is Japanese cuckolding, and it always has
Oh,
the most
the
ridiculous
hentai.
scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's the fat man who touches you once on the ass, and you're completely mind broken by him. I find it fantastically fun.
Right. Okay. Janice Raptor, her fan. Happy Blabs Week. How do you like your Wizarding World butterbeer? I like hot butterbeer and frozen slush butterbeer with some whiskey. Hot or cold? Do you like bottled butterbeer with whipped cream? Wow, that's a lot of questions. Okay. I have tried the Wizarding World butterbeer. It is better than the New York City flagship store butterbeer. That one's like the whole vegan weird crap. I don't like it. I prefer the slush. The slush was actually pretty good. I found the actual just drinking it straight up from like the tap was just too much, just way too sweet. So I prefer it cold. I have not tried it hot though. I gotta go back and try it. And no, I don't like buttered butterbeer, and I don't really like whipped cream. So yeah, but thank you. The True Dorster for £5. Blabs, you're awesome. Why, thank you. Saw the Super Mario movie twice and loved the whole thing, all the references, etc. Hyped about Mario movie too. Yeah, if it's done with love, I think it should be a really good movie again. Mm-hmm. All right, the worthy one. Kick some ass this week, Blabs. You got this. I believe in you, and so does the whole chat. Thank you very much. I'm positively dying up here. Okay. Next up, Mercenary. You can pretend to be Ghostbusters with Luigi.
Yes.
He vacuums them all up. It's true. And Eatsy, did you ever know the Epic Battle Axe crew? No? What is that? Does anyone know what that is?
Nope.
No?
Were they the
No
people
idea.
that made? Maybe I'm mistaken, but I think they made weapons on YouTube.
I don't know. But I see on Nick Kerr's donated 5 on direct donations. Says, Aloha, Blabs. I am Yellow Flash's neighbor. You will do well this week. Thank you.
You didn't get his name, huh? Well, what's his name again?
Was it like the exact word? Sorry, Craig. We're already been canceled. Demonetized. GG. Oh, well. All right, I think I see everything on direct donations. It's the worst filter right now. Okay, lol. Anyway, by the way, guys, we do have new emotes in the YouTube side only so far. Blabs, you had one job. Listen, I'm not very good at my job. Okay. Next up, guys, let's talk Final Fantasy and the whole localizers saga that continues. Final Fantasy Tactics direct a response to Western localization discourse surrounding unicorn overload. It is unacceptable for someone to alter a work without considering the original's author's intent. So finally, someone's actually spoken up and said something, which I don't know why it's taken all these months for it. But does anyone here have played Final Fantasy?
Tactics? I mean, like, so it's talking about that. So the Final Fantasy Tactics guide, it's a similar game to the game you're talking about, which is why we commented on it.
I thought it was all like similar together, Final Fantasy Tactics. So they're completely different, huh?
Well,
learning.
There were tactics games.
Yeah.
Like strategy RPGs.
Strategy game, yeah. It's a little bit different than the turn-based stuff. It takes place on a playing field and you can move around, and it's hard to explain unless you know what I'm talking about here. But I like Final Fantasy Tactics.
Well, I just like the fact that someone's actually saying it's unacceptable to alter someone's original work without, the agreement of like the original person, or without even saying like, oh yeah, this is what we want to do. This is our work now. Like you're just stealing someone else's work and putting your own agenda in it.
This has been something that's happened for a long time. I think one of the first ones I remember hearing about was on the Dreamcast. And it was a game called Skies of Arcadia or Arcadia. And they rewrote that script. Now, this was before...
They made shit up.
Yeah.
Completely.
And I think that I think this is good that there's a light being shown on this because, I think Japanese companies need to grow a spine and say, look, if you're going to translate our work for a global audience, I understand the role of a localizer to make things resonate with a Western audience, but there needs to be limits. So I think that, and I hope that we start seeing this kind of baked into contracts between localization studios and the original content creators. But then, there's oftentimes challenges and there's going to be legalese associated with what can you actually do with previous agreements. It's going to get a little murky, but it is good that the Japanese companies are calling this out and they see what's going on.
The seeing part too is very important because a large part of why this even started in the first place is because the Japanese have been very insular for a very long time. And they haven't given a shit about the West. There's like, okay, you're going to release it in the West? Oh, sure. Do we need to bother with this? I know.
Well, now more money comes in from the West,
right?
So now they care.
Yep.
And then you, on the flip side of that, you have these localizers potentially costing them dollars, like the people, creating the works. And this happens in manga as well, where things get retranslated. That could be hurting their bottom dollar because the source material is being altered to fit an agenda. And, we're seeing like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth not hitting sales targets. And, you got to wonder, why is that? Is it because it's limited to PlayStation 5?
Because it's just a PlayStation exclusive. That's what I think, because it makes sense. I mean, if the game was on PC, I guarantee you
it'll be on PC down the road, like Integrate
it would bring in money. And then you have to think, like, Remake had a PS4 release, a PS5 release, and a Steam release. So it had a little bit more reach compared to.
Though I think when the Remake came out, there was a larger install base for PlayStation 4, much larger install base, and then it came to PC down the road, and it got another resurgence because I think it hit Integrate when it hit PC and PS5 at the same time, if I remember correctly, or it was like a matter of months.
A couple months. I'm pretty sure it was like a couple months. The PC version came out a couple months after the Integrate one. I think it's also important to point out that a lot of people thought that Remake was going to be a remake. And a lot of people jumped into that, including myself, and were kind of turned off when they started doing the time travel Janny shit and stuff. And it's just basically a sequel to the original game. And I think that did turn some people off. Like, I lost a lot of enthusiasm for this series because I just wanted a remake. I wanted a prettier version of the old one. I don't think I'm the only one that wanted something.
No,
like
you're not. I mean, it's interesting to how remakes are today, and I think Capcom kind of kicked a lot of that off since the first Resident Evil remake was faithful, but 2 and 3 and 4 definitely are deviations from the originals. Granted, the Resident Evil 1 remake added things and refined things. It didn't really change the plot or the order in which things happen. But I don't know. It's a weird trend now where remakes are not faithful to the original. They're either abridged versions or they're just completely and heavily altered.
There's a lot of people that are entering into the industry for the first time who view this in essence as a way to place their name on something whilst having it already be successful. So they're like, okay, well, if I remake this and I slap this name on it, then it'll be my achievement now, and I can claim it for my own. And then they're going to add in the little touches, and more often than not, those touches are not motivated by what is best for the game.
Yeah, they just have to make something that's going to resonate. I mean, I feel like so many people have that mindset, and they make something and it's dead in the water when it comes out, and it resonates with no one, and then it's kind of forgotten outside of being like a little footnote.
Yeah, and that can even happen with movies and TV shows that you see today. So, and I just feel like that's a lack of originality. But this has been sitting in the document for like over a week, and we just never got to sharing it. And I want to do like a really quick hit on this because I thought it was too funny. But did you guys know that the Halo composer is running for Congress as a Republican?
I did a video on this, because people were mad. This was driving people. I can't believe he's a Republican. That means the Halo games are right wing.
Who the fuck cares? But I just want to say, like, whoever you want to vote for, whatever. But imagine the person that you voted for ends up winning, and like it's the Halo music in the background. I think that's just hysterical. And
he should use it for his campaign music.
I mean, I don't know.
As soon as he walks out on the stage. Oh.
Well, do y'all remember the controversy from 2014, like right after Destiny came? Well, actually, it was before Destiny came out, I think. But they fired Marty from Bungie, and that was it was really, really odd because he was just such a huge part of Bungie, and they kind of fired him out of nowhere.
It's not the same company anymore. Did you see that the senior narrative guy at Bungie was shitting on gamers because of the Sweet Baby thing?
I did not see that.
So. No.
Yeah, he was coming out saying like, if you think DEI is ruining games, fuck you. That's like
why
an
are they all
version.
like that? Yeah. Wow. Well, anyway, I just thought it was really funny how and like this photo just is it's pretty badass. So I just had to get it out there. It's been on the docket for ages, but I just think it's too funny. Like seriously, imagine though, like your politician wins, then all of a sudden, it'd be perfect. But I realized I didn't do the hard news intro, so that's my bad. Yeah. But
you could still do it.
I know I will, because we have a huge thing coming up, so I will save it for that one. This is all this person said right here, Kyle Denson, flaccid news. Yes, it's the substitute teacher. Quick, initiate the spitballs and paper planes. No hard news intro today. Guess flaccid news it is. Listen, we got two massive topics, at least two to talk about, so we got this. All right, the worthy one. TikTok started off not so bad. It was a nice platform for cosplayers to get some exposure, but then to the Tumblr crowd shut up. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like Tumblr was like the early 2000s kids, and now they've turned into like the TikTokers, and they just, they disgust me. Dutchy for 2 hours. Does the panel recognize the numbers? Is that something that I shouldn't know?
I saw that. I was like, is that a calculator thing?
I have no idea.
I don't know. All I know is the one that says boobies, but I don't know what that one is. I don't even want to try. I'm not gonna. I might like get us a strike or something for all I know. They're an evil robot. I didn't see the Oscars, but I'm glad Oppenheimer did win 7 awards, including Best Picture. My second choice would have been Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay, so I have not seen either of those movies.
Oppenheimer's great.
I heard it was good. Yeah. Shield Wall of Dragons. And here I thought Blabs would last at least one show without dropping the N-bomb. Glad I didn't have any money on it. Blabs fatality. Oopsies. Yeah, my bad. No one tell Craig. All right. That Vask is a fig. Yes, confirmed. And Koala? I'm not sure. I would like to introduce my new gaming consulting company, Sour Man Corp. No? Yay! I don't know if that was a joke or not, but congrats if it is. Otherwise, let me see. Am I caught up? Nope. Rumbles. Holy moly, you guys are crazy on Rumble. Okay, let's see. Dude for $1. I think the time travel changes to Final Fantasy remake would have been interesting in an NG plus mode and keep the OG story with some additions for the first playthrough. I don't know. I feel like everyone's just using these whole storylines of time traveling, MCU, Like Star Wars even has it slightly with the world between worlds. It's like it's stale.
Not everything needs a multiverse.
Yeah, it's really annoying. Marvel
or bifurcated timelines, or
not good. B Barrett, gonna have to be a snitch here. Can you get someone on the Rumble chat? Yeah, I'm working on it. Dude says, I want to live in the timeline where a video game composer and a gun YouTuber that's trying to make a 50 caliber AK rifle are both in Congress together. Okay, gotcha. All right, I think we're all caught up. There you go.
Oh, we just got one more from Jake Beebe. Yeah,
it's okay, Blabs. You can tell us what you did to Craig. Is he okay? No, Craig died. That's it. That's all I got.
He sang his song, and then Blabs took him out in the middle of a lake.
Yeah, with that AK that someone just said in the chat. Okay, guys, listen. We should probably do the hard news since I didn't do it last time.
Hard news.
Ta-da! I freaking love Eric. And the best part, I say this all the time, is that he sent me a green screen thing. It's like 20 seconds long of him just going, yeah! Over and over and over again. And he's like hyping himself up. So he's like bouncing in his chair going, yeah! And it's perfect. I feel like that needs to be a blooper on its own.
Yeah, I saw a comment here about just up a little bit about Craig being locked in the basement. It would be funny if we got Craig to just do like a quiz, like remember when Chris Cuomo,
like a meme.
Yeah, he like videotaped himself coming out of the basement, even though he'd been out of the basement for like weeks.
All right, so you guys know that yesterday was the Oscars. Did anybody here watch the Oscars?
No, I watched a couple of clips though. The Arnold and Danny DeVito thing, where he called Batman a son of a bitch, was pretty funny.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. And then what's his face's name go?
He's like, I hate him.
Yeah.
And then Michael Keaton was right there, and he just
Arnold
acted
never
brooding.
Yeah, Arnold never was with Michael Keaton Batman. He was George Clooney's.
I know, but it's just for the sake of the joke. It was funny.
I know.
Well,
that was funny. I'll give him that.
What about you know what's funny? I never watched the Barbie movie, and I never listened to the I'm Just Ken song. And then somebody posted it on Twitter, like the full segment that they had the Oscars, and I finally listened to the Ken song, and it's not as great as everyone says it is. Like was it Ken Enough, whatever it's called? I didn't think it was that great of a song, I'll be honest, but to each their own. However, do you guys remember, was it like a year or two ago, the Oscars announced that they'd be doing this whole diversity thing that's for requirements to be nominated for films?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So they were all like, oh, you need to have this amount of people, and this amount of people, and it's split up into 4 different categories. There are loopholes in their own DEI requirements that allow them to go around all these diversity quotas, and I just think it's absolutely hysterical. So let me pull this up. So, and the Oscar for most loopholes goes to the Academy's own diversity requirements. So here's what happened. So for the first time, the 10 Best Pictures nominees all had to meet a complex set of DEI rules that spells out quotas for race, gender, and sexuality. But even a casual glance at this year's nominees shows that no on-screen diversity is actually required. In fact, no behind-the-camera diversity is required either. A movie's entire cast and crew can all be white, heterosexual men, and it can still qualify as diverse. So to me, this is just too funny, because it's just like, oh, yeah, you have to have this, and this, but you don't actually.
What are the loopholes?
Yeah, so we'll get to it. So let me find it. All right. It's mostly an illusion. The Academy's DEI mandates are broken down into 4 sections. Oh, you can't even highlight. All right. So A, on-screen diversity, i.e. cast and story. B, behind-the-camera diversity, example, the crew. C, industry access. Studio provides internships and training for women and minorities. And D, audience development. So women and minorities in executive roles in studio marketing, PR, and distribution. So those are your 4 categories. However, in order to meet these requirements, you only have to have 2 of the 4 requirements to be eligible for a Best Picture consideration. So that means a movie can skip A and B if it fulfills C and D. If a studio employs an army of minority interns and some of its marketing executives are also minorities, then any movie the studio puts out is automatically diverse under the Academy rules. So it's basically like a safety net for themselves if they have no movies to nominate.
Well, they're Yeah.
Women ruin everything.
They're gonna find themselves in issues when, like, more and more movies that are coming out are popcorn flicks. They're made for streaming. They're all over the place. It's like, what is Oscar worthy? You have directors like Robert Eggers, who tends to make, very white centric movies. I mean, he did The Northman. He's got the Nosferatu with Willem Dafoe coming out, which probably will
Can't
be.
wait for that.
Oh, it looks. I mean, I'm excited. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't say it looks great, but I'm excited from what I've read about it. The Lighthouse was a phenomenal movie. That was a movie that really got me to reconsider what I thought about Robert Pattinson. So, with those sort of movies coming out, you can't start putting boxes in there when you're going to say this is what our nomination process is, because you're only going to hurt yourself and you're going to hurt your little award ceremony because you're running out of things that are Oscar worthy.
Well, it was always mostly a virtue signal thing to begin with. Because, like, okay, these are our rules, and they gave, was it 4 years warning? Because I think they announced this in 2020 or something.
It was around like 2021 or so. But the reason that this even happened is because of this. The Hollywood Diversity Report 2024. So there actually is like a whole report, and it's massive. I think it was like 60 pages. It's ridiculous. But to keep going on to this article and other loopholes that exist, in another loophole, the Academy considers women of any color to be a minority as a diverse result. A movie for A, B, and C, and D using white women and still qualify as diverse.
Aren't women 51% of the population?
Yeah, isn't that funny? The same loophole applies for LGBTQ plus people. And then it says the Academy's quotas appear designed to give studios ample room to fudge the results. The rules are both absurdly specific and absurdly broad. In the end, almost any movie could theoretically qualify as diverse. This explains why Oppenheimer is eligible for Best Picture. Christopher Nolan's 3-hour biopic of J.R. Robert Oppenheimer is wall-to-wall straight white males, the antithesis of the woke's left definition of diverse.
That's funny that they write that, and that's a patently false claim because Oppenheimer's wife and mistress were prominently featured in that movie.
Oh, well, wait for it. Listen to how, like, they didn't pay attention at all. The only non-white female people are Emily Blunt and Florence Pugh, whose roles are also so small they feel like glorified cameos.
They didn't see the movie then.
Right? Because, like, everyone knows that they're pretty prominent in them.
Yeah.
Even I know, and I didn't even watch the movie. So Oppenheimer fulfills B thanks to the white women serving as editor, costume designer, production designer, and set decorator. Universal, the studio behind Oppenheimer, can easily fulfill C and D, thus completing the movie's diversity requirements.
Not to mention the fact that, and again, it varies on the way the political winds shift. A big plot of that movie is that Oppenheimer himself was a Jewish man, and there were a lot of stigmas around that, a lot of stigmas around his ties to communism. So you want to talk about somebody that was marginalized. I mean,
did they ever talk about him being Jewish?
Yeah.
In the movie?
Yeah.
It's
prominent in the beginning because that's why he and I forget the name of his friend.
Oh yeah, because that's why he left Germany. Yeah, you're right. I have to watch it again, but yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, he wasn't really a religious man or a practicing Jew, but he still recognized. Yeah.
I
also
see
to point out
Discourse in the
something
chat.
important
Hello.
there too. You mentioned that it's incredibly broad and yet incredibly specific, so that almost any movie can meet the requirements. That is, of course, also entirely by design, because that also means that they can shut out any movie. So this is, in essence, just them saying, okay, we've created a set of rules where if you're not friends with us, you're going to fall short of them. But if you are friends with us, you will never fall short of them.
Yeah, it's basically just kicking anyone out who doesn't identify with their values. They could just
if you're not a part
anything.
of the club.
Yeah. But it's funny enough because the same time this article was published about the whole loopholes, there was this going around in the world. Hollywood executives are deprioritizing diversity at their own peril. I just think it's too funny. So it says, Hollywood executives are deprioritizing diversity at their own peril, a new report out Thursday once. And that's the report that I was showing before, how they actually have like a massive document about this. And it says, diversity is essential to the entertainment industry's survival as moviegoers of color consistently drive box office success. Movies with more diverse casts tend to perform best at the box office, and prioritizing diversity behind the camera is often what ensures diversity on the screen. These have all been consistent findings on the annual editions of the UCLA Hollywood Diversity Report, which is the report I was shown before. And that just makes me wonder that all these people just only see race as the only way to be diverse. It's wild.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I had a friend say to me once, "Oh, I'm surprised that Miguel O'Hara isn't your favorite Spider-Man because you guys have the same heritage." And I was like, "What?" You know,
I see myself in him.
right?
But yeah, I
also
don't
like
know.
the fact that it's the diversity board who finds this. Like the diversity board has found that its values are the leading thing in this thing. So, us.
There's no bias in this report whatsoever at all. No, that's not. It's fine. But
my favorite meme of the weekend, I think, because of the Akira Toriyama thing, was, had the little girl in the top saying, "I see myself in her."
Oh, the Little Mermaid. Yeah.
And then at the bottom were all these black kids go, "That's me," and they were pointing at Goku in Super Saiyan form.
Yeah, and it's the same thing over and over again. I mean, that one with the Little Mermaid has been going on for years. As soon as they announced Halle Berry, Bowie, whatever her last name. Yeah, I always want to say Halle Berry every time. Yeah. But yeah, the other one where everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can see myself now as a mermaid." It's like,
but it's just crazy because she's like, she's like, "Oh, when I was a kid, I loved the Little Mermaid and I love this, that, and the other." I mean, how many boys grew up in the '90s going like, "I love the Ninja Turtles," and relating to things that weren't even human, or I mean, they were green. And, you know, it's just like when they started adding races to the Muppets, like the whole purpose of the Muppets was to show that things that don't look like you and are all color of the rainbow are relatable. I mean, it's just, it's so weird that we've moved into this habit of thinking, you know, that you have to, you can only relate to people that look like you. And really the world's a better place when you learn to think outside that box. And, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's because we've arrived at the idea that color blindness is now racism because it doesn't acknowledge race.
Yeah, talking about Ghostbusters earlier, I related the most to Winston watching Ghostbusters because he wasn't a scientist and he was an everyman. And I was like, oh, if Winston can be a Ghostbuster, so can I.
Yeah, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe whatever you say. Those are one of my favorite lines in the movie. That's a line he says in the movie. It's like his first line when they're like, "Do you believe in UFOs, ghosts, all this stuff?"
Oh, yeah.
Like, if there's a steady paycheck in it, I believe anything you say.
All right. So any last words for the Oscars bullshit DEI crap? Okay.
Morally.
It's gay.
Put a chicken in it, make it lame and gay.
Yeah.
All right. Peter says the idea of a multiverse in Star Wars makes me vomit. 100%. It doesn't make any sense. And they just don't kill off characters either, like Ahsoka, Dave Filoni's child. All right. The only Oscar worth caring about is Oscar the Grouch. It's true. Lance says, "I'm Just Ken" was robbed. Was it though? I didn't think it was that great of a song. I just think it's because Ryan
Better
Gosling.
than the other one.
What other one?
The one that won. There's another Barbie song.
Oh, Billie Eilish one? I didn't even know that was Billie Eilish singing it until like 2 months ago. So much I don't pay attention to that woman. Yeah. I didn't even know
she has
was
2 Oscars, and they're making a deal about that. Like, oh, 22. Billie Eilish has 2 Oscars. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well, let's see. Did Craig go off to find the Dragon Balls? I'm pretty sure he doesn't even know what those are. So,
he went off to find balls. I don't know if they're Dragon Balls or not.
True. And let's see. M2M for $20. Thank you. The ending to Persona 3 Reload is one of the most beautifully sad scenes I've ever seen in my life. P3R, that Persona 3 Reload, is a remake done more one-on-one. It's a contrast to how Square Enix treated the most iconic moments of FF7 in their new demake. It's not a remake.
I tried to play Persona 3, and it's like, after 20 minutes of just text, walls of text, because you never control the characters. It's just like walls of text. I quit playing. I understand people like it, but I don't like those visual novel games.
Same. Nintendo had
Persona 4 I loved. That one's amazing.
was gonna say Nintendo had a big problem with that in like that Wii era, where every game you started, it was like 30 minutes of walls of text before you could actually start playing. And I like games that toss me in and let me play, and then if they want to introduce the story, it just kind of phases itself in.
Persona 4 doesn't have that problem. That one played that on the Vita.
All right, let's see. B. Barrett on Rumble says, whatever role Sydney Sweeney plays, I see myself in her. Thanks for that. 60 watts. Yeah, very subtle. As of today, I'm a 39-year-old grown man with a big man beard that is full, luscious, and epic. When I was a young child, I was 4 back in 1989. I love The Little Mermaid. Well, yeah, everyone loved The Little Mermaid. I think it's a great story for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man.
Well, there's something to be said, too, about those sort of Disney movies. I'm the same age. I turned 39 back in February. And, I had 2 younger sisters. And there was just something about those early Disney movies, even if they were princess-centric, there was something in those for a general audience. They had elements that anybody could enjoy. And, be it Beauty and the Beast, you're kind of invested in the Beast story and that imagery. Aladdin was another good one, even though Princess Jasmine had a prominent role. I found myself related to Aladdin and his adventures and the swashbuckling elements of that story. And I think that's the problem is rather than letting this stuff happen organically and finding an audience and having bits and pieces of the story resonate, they put that stuff secondary or sometimes tertiary to, trying to pander first.
Because this is the same issue that happened in gaming with the curse that was esports for a while, where every single game had to have an esports scene, and they tried to force it into everything, and it never works because this thing comes organic. You cannot force a fandom.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. It either finds its audience or it doesn't.
All right, Sad Trolley Panda donated $2 of direct donations. So sorry, Blabs, I couldn't resist, but I will aim for Craig on his return. Also, did you hear about the cops who were at the Oscars to prevent a certain group from protesting against the Hexagon Nation? Yes. Abdulio donated $2 and says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth sales being down could also be a result of it being a bait and switch. People wanted a remake, and what they got was a hidden sequel, cavalcade time travel, multiverse nonsense, which makes sense. Naruma is charged, and he loves those stories.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Yeah, I think that was kind of a bait and switch. The chat was telling me that Persona 3 Portable is different than I don't know. I think I played Portable. I played the one that was on Game Pass.
That's what they were saying was on Game Pass, I think.
So maybe I played the wrong version then.
I am unsure. I've never
played
Reload.
I think Reload is on Game Pass too, so maybe I'll try the Reload version.
Okay. So enough with that, but let's get into all the bullshit of a Sweet Baby Inc. Have you guys been keeping up to date over the weekend of what's been going on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's not a whole lot of news in comparison because usually the weekends are kind of dim. However, censorship of Sweet Baby Inc. in a Discord group. Look at all that. They're calling it Gamergate too, and everyone's been saying this for a while, but my question to you guys is, is it bigger than the Naughty Dog stuff that happened a couple years ago?
Bigger than the Naughty Dog stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean with Joel and the leaks?
No, the whole striking anybody who said anything about Naughty Dog.
Yeah, the leaks.
Yeah. And then
this is way bigger than that.
Yeah, this is way bigger.
Saying I had a strike on it, and then they were getting struck down also just for saying, hey, I got a strike on my channel.
This is way bigger. I just don't like Gamergate 2. The only people that need Gamergate 2 are games journalists. Because it would revive their dying websites.
I see more parallels to Occupy Wall Street than Gamergate, and that's just because I've been doing some digging. And this is, I think Sweet Baby Inc. is, as many have said, one head of a hydra, and we're seeing these sort of practices impact every form of entertainment and industry. And I think that a lot of this stuff is by design, and I don't think people are following the money as well as they should. And really asking the question, why are they pushing this? Why are they pushing ESG and DEI, things that are, and I'm sure there'll be people to say, oh no, the most look at things like God of War Ragnarok and Spider-Man 2, they sold huge. This isn't impacting them. Those were too big to fail. But this happens with movies. This happens with any private company. Look at the airlines, look at what's going on with utilities companies, and people aren't following the money to find out, like, well, why is this being pushed, even though it costs companies tons of money, sometimes in the millions or billions. InBev is another one. And it also causes them to lose public favorability. And it's not just right-wing people, it's center people, it's normal people, it's independents. They don't like this stuff. And I have my own theories on this, but I mean, the big question is, why are people following the money and asking why this is being pushed? And I have written a little bit about this. Like, Patrick Bet-David was on Joe Rogan. He couldn't answer the question, why DEI? Why is this being pushed when they know what it does? And my theory is that they're trying to devalue brands so they can come in and scoop them up on the cheap. And it's an invest ownership scheme. But curious what you all think on that.
Yellow Flash?
I think it's all a scam. It's just people coming in and grifting. Like, yeah, it's the sweet babies and all them. They're a part of the problem because they're coming in and saying, oh, okay, well, you want all these? We can do that. We're people of color and we're gay. We can give you the requirements you need for that ESG money. The money is the real problem.
Yeah, it's true. It's a giant chess game, in my opinion. They're all the set, everything's like set out, and everyone's just gonna play their part. Extrazero and I were talking about that yesterday. It's very much a chessboard. But Arch, what are your thoughts?
The thing here is the Gamegate 2.0, as far as I'm concerned, is mostly there for the effect it has, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what's actually happening. That is, weirdly enough, irrelevant, is the conclusion I've come to. What is important is whether or not we can convince the majority of the population that we are in the right and that our solutions are the correct ones. And Gamegate 2.0 is a perfect way to herd the majority, the sheeps, because they don't know about ESG, they don't know about DEI, they don't know about woke. But when you can point to a company, even if it's just a small percentage of the overall problem, which it absolutely is, and go, hey, look, these people are ruining video gaming, that is a fantastically useful tool. And that's what I've used Sweet Baby Inc. as. It's not the root of all evil. It's not even a percentage of it. But it is a fantastic summarization to point the normie in the direction of the problem and go, look, bad people. It's the same they did to us, like how they labeled us Nazis, racists, etc. for years and years. This is our fascists.
Right. And we're not going to look at like what's the root of the problem. People are just kind of looking at Zoe Quinn and Kim Belair and saying, there's the bad guys. They're behind this, but not asking why. Why is this money coming in? How did these people come out of nowhere in 2018? And Kim Belair was a writer at Ubisoft, and she had some other roles. How did she get so well connected? And I found articles from 2021, like right after Wolverine was announced, where they were talking about being involved with Wolverine. You would think that if this company came out in 2018, they'd get small indie projects and work on consulting them. Hey, we believe diversity can help sell products. How did they get so well connected in a short period of time with major studios? Who's pushing that? And I think that they're patsies in all this, so people can rally upon what they think is a common enemy and be too distracted to actually follow the money and the hows and whys. That's what I see going on.
And this also because we forget the early days of like 2014, the game against early days, how powerful these people are. Like Zoe Quinn and Nietzsche Sarkeesian went to the United Nations. Can you imagine what you need to do to be invited to the fucking UN?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and also, don't forget that
reality around themselves.
Candace Owens was connected to Zoe Quinn, and I think the only person I've ever really heard do it. Yes, the only person I've ever heard do a deep dive into that was Jeremy from The Quartering. Did a video about it.
Okay, you need to explain this one to me.
I'd never heard of this.
Yeah, so Candace Owens and Zoe Quinn were tied together, and
you talk about the Daily Wire lady?
Yes,
well, she was. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really dislike or like Candace Owens, but I'm kind of shocked at that one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Candace. I mean, she says some things I agree with here and there, but Yeah, there was a company that, and yes, I'm sure that that's the same. Yeah, Social Autopsy was the company that she was running, and Zoe Quinn even took issue with the levels at which Candace wanted to dox people. Again, Jeremy did a really deep dive in it, and I don't have notes handy, but I thought it was very odd that those two were tied together.
Huh. Wow, everyone's
Weird.
saying that Candace was a grifter. Candace Owens was threatened by Zoe Quinn over a project for anti-bullying. What on earth? Wow. Well,
Yeah.
while Extrazero looks that up, I gotta say, we gotta share this one out. I don't know why you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. Sweet Baby Inc. detected on Steam has surpassed 250,000 followers. I just think it's really funny because remember the article the other day that was published? They're like, oh, it's only got like 70,000. Meanwhile, it was like way over 100,000. So I just think that that's funny. And I wonder what numbers they're going to skew that to be. What do you got here?
Yeah, these idiots don't understand the Streisand effect. They never have.
Yeah, wow, look at this. What is this Extrazero that you just sent?
Yeah, so that's about Social Autopsy and Gamergate trutherism. It's worth reading into. And again, I don't have all the the facts brought up in front of me, but yeah, it's just very interesting that Candace Owens in the early days was also tied into fake harassment networks. So yeah, I'll give you this thread from Reddit as well.
Yeah, well,
that ties a lot of this together. But yeah, I like I said, when it comes to Daily Wire and people like Candace, I have no trust for them.
yeah. Wow, I had no idea about Candace. Interesting. She's related to Gamergate. It's all connected now. In other news, though, for Alyssa Mercante, I want to say is her last name, she has not gone in and privated her tweets. So the one who was all like, she made this her freaking like timeline photo. Huh, you can't be racist against white people. Thanks for tuning in. And like that stupid ass smirky face, that's what she's gotten changed it all. And she's made everything private. So she just says this thing, and instead of trying to, have a civil discourse or conversation, she just hides behind her Twitter.
So if you want to pull it up, Blabs, I put in the private chat the Kickstarter for Social Autopsy, right. And you can see plain as day. There's Candace front row and center.
What the hell? Hang on a second. Let me pull it up. That is wild. Mm-hmm. Fundraising suspended. Look at that. There she is.
Yeah. So this was like an anti-cyberbullying and trolling campaign, kind of similar to Bully Hunters, and Candace was heavily involved in that.
Bully Hunters.
Yeah.
Huh. I'm just kind of mind blown at that. Wow. All right. Well, there you have it. And now moving on with some more Sweet Baby Inc. drama, because there's always drama. Gold did a Reddit thread, and he says, here's a list of Sweet Baby-esque consultation companies that propagandize games. So, I believe Extrazero, you were the one who sent me this, but funny enough, this post has been removed now.
I can give you the link to the because again, Static and I are working on archiving a lot of this stuff, and when we did save that was, I believe, from the Asmongold Reddit, and actually I think I sent that to you directly through an IM. Let me see if I've got it, because that should link out. Yes,
I didn't realize it was deleted now. Wasn't deleted this morning. Nice. Where are they hiding? Who knows? All right, I can't switch right now because I have a bunch of tweets pulled up for size post. But oh well, we'll move on then. All right, let's share this tab. Too many tabs. So the Sweet Baby Inc. thing, gonna start Gamergate 2 Electric Boogaloo, because I got a feeling that this will be framed as a harassment campaign pretty soon. Now this has already been a harassment campaign due to all the Kotaku, PC Gamer, IGN was the one who did the other article, right? Saying, this isn't actually, it's people harassing Sweet Baby Inc. on purpose. When it was, what?
The Eurogamer article got community noted.
Yeah, because they were all saying, no, SBI was being harassed, but it was actually like SBI going harassing like Brutus without even talking to him, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting too is do you guys know Digital Foundry? They do all of those. They're relatively famous for doing like frame rate analysis videos and graphic analysis videos for all kinds of games. One of their guys, Alex Battaglia, was one of the people that came out against Stellar Blade and did like a whole video dunking on it and championing Forspoken of all things, even though Forspoken, was really lauded by I think everybody critically and in sales. Comes out, there's a picture of him like in a really weird fetish stuff where he's like out in public, like with this weird collar on. And again, like we were talking about prior to the show, it's just all of these people that are against this and act puritanical in public. They all have weird skeletons in the closet.
Man, some weirdos. And then let's see. Media Matters has now entered the fight. This is being spun as a political issue now. Are you guys seeing this as a political issue now?
Oh, this is absolutely political. We're using it as political. They're using it as political. This is for them. I believe they think that Gamergate 2.0 could be useful for the mainstream. I actually think the exact opposite, because they won Gamergate 1 for the simple reason that we had no idea what we were fighting against.
Did you see what happened with the woman who wrote the Kotaku article? She made some money off of that article, and then she's like donating it to Palestine. She immediately, after the second day, is like, "Where are the charities for Palestine?" and donated money.
Well,
yep.
Wow.
That's what they want at Gamergate 2 for. They want the only ones that will benefit from it are, and it will be a short-term benefit, would be Kotaku and all these outlets, because then they could finally get some traffic to their dying websites.
Thing is, though, I'm fine with that. Like, if they want to benefit short-term to give the culture over to us, because that's what's going to happen here, because they come across as deranged. Like the Alice Mercantio woman, the one that went on the Sweet Baby Ink Detected page and said, "Hey, why don't you have your names and pictures here so I can dox you more easily?"
Yes, yeah.
I think it's all...
I needed your real name so I could call your job.
Yeah.
I think it's all under the guise of politics.
This is the end of the day. The culture is what changes wallets. Culture is why the ESG score and the DEI thing was in there. It's why they was profitable. We can't beat them by hitting them in the wallet, but we can beat them by hitting them in the culture. And we already are.
But if they acquire every institution or as much as they can, and that's what I think the goal is. I think their goal is to come in, devalue these companies, rescue them, and then be in control of them. If they're completely in control, how much can you realistically hit them in the wallet? Because the way I see it is these companies, everybody from Disney to Naughty Dog, Sony, Microsoft, they're all getting these easy investment dollars that all they have to do is play by their rules, regardless of how much it hits them. But what do you then do if they have stake and ownership of everything?
Simple. We don't hit them in the wallet because there was never a valid tactic whatsoever. You can't compete with BlackRock in the wallets. Like ESG investment fund at its highest was $35 trillion. Right.
And they have over $15 trillion in assets.
Exactly. So what you need to do is you need to change the culture. You need to make it so unpopular, so unprofitable that you basically turn it into fascism. Like, I don't care how many $1 trillion fascism
I mean,
has,
if you look at how they operate with the Federal Reserve, it is fascism. You are seeing in real time the lucrative merger of corporation and state. So it's just, what do you do? I mean, it's like I don't see any. I've become a little black-pilled on this. I don't see a way to hit them in the wallet. And if culture changes, and yet they own all the institutions that that most people can't function without, and that becomes a very scary precedent for me.
I thoroughly believe that in the current system we have now, as slow as it may be, the changing of the culture will eventually change the realities of governments and the systems around it. And you kind of have to believe that, I feel like, because if you don't, then what is going to happen?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be completely black-pilled. I want to raise a family. I just, it still gives me pause, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And, I like to think of, well, what can we do? But I guess the long-winded thing is I really don't know, other than exposing this and figuring out where the money is connected. And maybe just maybe people with power will see that and start to bring about change.
Well, that's like what Craig was saying last week. What are the solutions? It's like, just be loud with your money, social media for now until, they censor everybody.
Because, with the Alyssa Mercante thing, legitimately, her going to that Discord, what was her goal? It wasn't to get information. It was to
Spin
spread
information.
Right. Well, no,
Yeah.
it was partially to get information, but really she wanted to go in there and intimidate. She thinks that she has social political power. She thinks that she can influence things. She thinks that, she can go in there and finger wag and get a few people canceled, and that will continue her relevance. And I do think those people are losing influence, but I think unfortunately, like the damage is done, and those people were just useful idiots to accomplish the goal of what I think they wanted to do.
Right. Well, we won't find out for a while, I guess. Alan says, Alan, here to say hail to Blabs Week. Sweet babies are a bunch of rigging in the gaming industry. That's true. 60 Watt. BlackRock and Vanguard working to destabilize large economies around the world so they can buy it all for cheap, or the great economic reset. And I have to say, Vanguard actually sucks. Everything they want has to be online, digital. You can't do anything.
And don't forget about State Street.
Yeah, they're terrible. Everything has to be online until they get hacked, and then it's like, well, now what?
But that's a control thing. I think they want they want everything.
They want it all in one spot, so they
there's
can.
There's a record of it. Yeah.
Chaos Mash says, "Yeah, Flash, play P3 FES on PS2, not Reload."
Yeah, that's what I saw. So I will.
Matthew Hammond, I have a theory that InBev's marketing move of Anheuser-Busch to New York City from St. Louis destroyed Midwest marketing firms and led to the YouTube YT. Is that YouTube? I guess.
YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, YouTube adpocalypse.
I thought that was caused by Coca-Cola, though.
Could be a combination of all the above.
Yeah, could be.
Alan says, has anyone pointed out the swirl on the logo Sweet Baby and how it used the PDF files? The name itself is sus as it is, let alone who they hire. Yeah, I think the name Sweet Baby is just...
Well, have you heard Kim Belair talk about why she does it? Why they came up with Sweet Baby?
Specifically the name?
What's the story on that?
Yeah, so the whole Sweet Baby thing is like she and that former... And if you look at like the history of the co-founder of Sweet Baby, I'm not even sure what they are, but they're no longer there. But she said that, basically instead of using the word woke, she would refer to them as sweet babies. Oh yeah, we met with them. They're a bunch of sweet babies. And that was like basically her code word for people that were willing to play ball. So I thought that was fairly
That's a really weird code.
Yeah. And I know I had somewhere in here I have the articles archived about the other co-founder. But yeah, it's there's a lot of bizarre things going on. So it's Ariandre McGilvery now works at Phoenix Labs, not with Sweet Baby anymore. And this person is now with, let's see, they came from, of course, LinkedIn wants to load as soon as I
well, let me pull up some Superchats and now you'll find it. 60 Watt says, everything is connected. That's not conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy fact. Source, just trust me, bro. Seriously. It's all connected. For real, for real. Constanza says, it's not about money. They all have the money. DEI erodes natural bonds in communities. It is about control, power, a fractured society. True.
So I got the LinkedIn up.
I'm not sharing it. They'll show too much info.
Well, no. I just want to at least read through this person. So this was the co-founder, Adriana McGilvray. This is up on LinkedIn. Started out as a mobile phone store manager in 2008. From there, became the director of communications, PR, and customer service at Blind Ferret Entertainment. And that was for a year and 8 months. Moved on to working at Ubisoft as a community manager on Assassin's Creed. Then became a scriptwriter. Then goes on to work for Reflector Entertainment as an associate producer and narrative lead. Then becomes the co-founder of Sweet Baby in 2018. 2021 becomes an office manager of Keyword Studios and is now, as of March of 2022, the narrative designer at Phoenix Labs.
Huh.
So,
all right. Let me keep going with the super chats. Mercenary for a direct donation just now. Since I can't say that word. Since Father Craig is away, let's sneak you on that date with Razor Fist editor Terengale. Let's make it like one of those 80s exploitation films, but at a drive-in movie theater. Also, I love Skies of Arcadia, but I was shocked when I saw the differences. Who is this Terengale? Anyway. Kratos says, I thought Candace used to be much farther left and then got red-pilled and switched sides. I don't remember if it was before or after Gamergate.
That's the story.
Yeah, if she changed, I don't, people change. So
yeah,
if that was way back in the past, then that's something. But
you still see and I think a lot of this, if I'm remembering correctly, came back out. Remember when Steven Crowder had that incident with his wife? And, Jeremy and Steven are pretty tight. And I think Jeremy's point was that Candace hadn't changed. Like, her scruples aren't there because she was willing to put out Crowder's. And regardless of what you feel about Crowder, she was right at the gate pumping out his own information and his and his wife's
I didn't
problems.
like that. That's
I
his
didn't
personal,
either.
That's his personal life.
But,
nothing
even
to do with what he's doing on the internet.
Even if her politics have changed, the practices, you still have to have some sort of principles and standards. And, it's just kind of pointing out, regardless of what side of the aisle she's on now, I don't think that she's really grown as a person.
Yeah, that is true. Morals,
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy says, I have a video digging into some of the finances of Sweet Baby and Weird Ghost. They have interesting connections to the government of Canada. Well, Sweet Baby is located in Montreal, which is Quebec, which is, Justin Trudeau loves Quebec, okay? Let's just leave it like that. PHT25 for $10 says, Streamlabs wouldn't process my payment, and Rumble Rants wasn't working for me either. But anyways, hell, Mr. Blabs, hell chat, side scrolls, and the fellowship. Have a great Monday. Thank you, PHT25. I don't know why Streamlabs isn't working for you. It's weird. Sebastian, hey Blabs, random question. Are you a fan of the character Jacob Black from Twilight? I absolutely hate Twilight. And fun fact, I think I only ever watched Twilight for the first time in my entire life. I think I was 25.
You want to hear a fun Twilight fact that'll make you laugh?
What?
So my wife, when she was 19, she basically got carjacked. And the guy stole everything out of her car but left the Twilight stuff.
Hey, that's a based robber.
It's absolute garbage in my opinion. I watch a lot of stuff on Instagram just for the pure meme that they all make fun of, like Kristen Stewart, and she's always brushing her hair and just being really weird, and she's like weird shit like that. I watch it purely for the memes, but I've only ever seen them once, and I was 25. I managed to get through all of middle school and high school, and everyone and their mother was wearing Twilight merch and the Twilight bags, and somehow they were Twilight is so much better than Harry Potter. I'm the girl gets heartbroken, she goes and cries in the middle of the woods. How is that any good for any morals for making?
I fell asleep. The only one I've seen is the second one, and I don't even know if that's the only time I've ever fallen asleep in a movie theater.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Because
pretty bad.
70% of the movie, I think, was just them in the woods.
Yeah.
I fucking fell asleep, and then I woke up and they were in France or something, I think, or Italy.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Well, I thought they were in the woods. Why are they here?
How'd they get here? Kratos says, Extrazero, don't lose hope. We just need a few more Elons to buy back society and culture.
That's my point, is that this needs to get on the whole end game needs to get on the radar of at least influential people. That's why I bring up Patrick Bet-David specifically, because I watched Joe Rogan pretty regularly when he was on there. Rogan was genuinely asking. He wasn't Bill Maherring him. He's like, well, what do you think? What's the reason why? And I think that's the problem, is people aren't asking the questions is, why is this being pushed? If it's unpopular, if it's unfavorable, I stopped believing that the path to hell is paved with good intentions. I think that the path to hell is paved with the guise of good intentions, and that the people that present good intentions that are detrimental, they know what they're doing, and there's always a motive behind them. That's why you have so many bills that are named the border bill when it does nothing for our border, or
the Patriot
Act, perfectly
very anti-American.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Again, the guise of good intentions.
True. Dwight Power for British Pounds. Speaking of Brutus, is there any metal fans in here? Check out the song he uploaded on his channel by his old band. They're awesome. Well, thanks very much for that. So I know we have a couple of quick hits to hit, and some of the stuff was from last week, but we had a whole bunch of Sweet Baby takeover last week when it was really hot. So I do want to get you guys' opinion on this. Warner Brothers discusses volatile AAA console games will lean into free-to-play and mobile. Have you guys heard about this? It was released last week.
Yeah, I talked about it.
What do you
fun.
think?
I talked about it with RG literally the other day.
Well, let's hear it. Yellow Flash first.
Well, they had the biggest hit, which was a single player, and then they had the biggest loser with that. It's funny because right after Suicide Squad, they admitted it failed. They came out and said this.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of people that want single player games, don't want any live service stuff, and it's disappointing.
What about you, Arch?
I think this is a perfect example of video game companies coming away from a very obvious lesson, somehow with the wrong information. So they make a game that is focused entirely on satisfying the fans, Hogwarts Legacy, and it sells gangbuster.
Biggest game of last year.
Yeah, but that was for a bunch of reasons. Let's not forget.
There was a factor in there. I don't think it would have sold as well if it wasn't for all of the
Streisand
crazy
effect.
LBGTQ PCXT garage door openers getting mad.
That helped, but
there
at
was
the
a
end of the
couple
day, it was just
for Hogwarts Legacy.
Very fan-focused game.
Well, yes and no. There's a whole lot of like issues with it, which I'm still working on a video. It's gonna take me a million years to get it out. However, like the thing people seem to forget is that Wizarding World is a huge IP that hasn't had a video game in like a decade. So naturally, everyone's going to be curious about it. And then you had the whole boycott versus the boycott, and all that together. Everyone was like really curious and wanted to get this game. Yeah,
it sold like 20 million copies. It did very well. And then they make Suicide Squad, which is the exact opposite, where they kill all of your favorite characters in the most gruesome, horrible way possible. And Warner Brothers' takeaway from this is that it's just impossible to figure out what people like.
That's true.
I think
it's just too volatile.
I think the other thing too is they're trying to make games that are monetized like free to play, and they're trying to see if they can get away with the free, $70 or more. I mean, they wanted, it's funny, they sold the deluxe version of Suicide Squad for I think $100 or $120, for you to be able to play a few days early, and then that broke, and Mortal Kombat
refunds.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat 1, everything's monetized in that game, and it's a full price game. And all the, I did play Mortal Kombat 1 to completion. I played through the first season of whatever they called the conquest mode. And it's just the grindiest thing. And all the cosmetics you get are, color palette swaps that make no sense. And then when they do come up with a good costume, it's $10. Or hey, a new fatality, it's $12. Oh, we're gonna lower it to $10. Yeah, I
skipped it because I thought it looked like shit and all the women were ugly.
It is very skippable. The story sucks. I mean, the story makes no sense. The story does make sense, but it's not good, and there are things in it that make no sense, like
really convoluted.
Like Liu Kang reshaped the universe to make it a better place, yet he makes Tarkatan's no longer a race but a disease. Why would you do that?
Well, Cyan Wizard says, I'm still baffled how Warner Brothers is leaving money on the floor, but not making an MMO Harry Potter game, let alone a Quidditch game akin to Rocket League success. Like how, well, to answer your question, they are making a Quidditch game. It's called Quidditch Champions. It's not good. They have not released a release date for it. There's been several playtests in the last year or so, like since I want to say April or the summer or whatever. There's been a bunch of them. I have participated in those. I can't say anything else. But yeah, if you want to play a Quidditch game, go play the 2003 one from EA. You have to figure out how to play it on your PC because it doesn't work.
Did you see EA actually did a pro gamer move and went back and released a bunch of their classic titles on Steam?
Yeah, but the thing is, they don't have the license for Harry Potter, so that doesn't work for them.
Yeah, I mean, that sucks, but the Saboteur and a bunch of the old Command and Conquer games.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I picked up the Saboteur. It's $5 right now.
I might go pick up one of those Command and Conquers.
Is that supposed to be a mobile game? No, it's going to be on PC, PlayStation, Xbox. You can look it up. It's called Quidditch Champions. It's an actual website. There is no Twitter account or anything yet. There's just a Discord. Also, for me, I feel like Hogwarts Legacy was a bit of a letdown in the fact that you couldn't play with your friends. Because imagine just joining up together and walking around Hogwarts or defeating enemies. I feel like a lot of people would have wanted that also if it was done correctly, not a whole like mini transactions all over the game. But yeah, it is funny how, as you guys said before, Suicide Squad was a flop, and they're like, look at this, we're gonna have this. But like Suicide Squad was a flop due to multiple reasons. It wasn't just because of the whole killing the characters, the SBI shit. It was just a shitty game to play. Like the graphics and the gameplay itself was really confusing. People were saying that there was so much on screen that you really couldn't focus. Did anyone here actually play the game, or anyone in the chat actually play the game? Yeah, I didn't think so. It wasn't even like top 600 or something a couple weeks ago. But let's move on. Is anyone here a fan of King of the Hill?
Oh, I love King of the Hill. And
have you seen the news?
I have seen the news.
Pamela Adlin says a new generation of young writers are working on the King of the Hill revival. She adds they are adapting sweet spots of the classic into the new era. What do you think?
I'm concerned, but the Beavis and Butthead revival was actually really good.
It was.
You know, if Mike Judge, and I think Mike Judge is a very hands-on guy, I don't think, and I don't want to say Mike Judge is based, but I do think that he's a very sensible guy, and I don't think that he's going to let them run this into the ground.
Is he involved in it?
Well, I mean, he's the voice of Hank, so I mean, it's either he's going to, you know, he's going to be overseeing something, or he's just collecting a paycheck. I don't really know what his role is, other than, you know, an executive producer at best. Let me Google and see what his role is, if it is up there.
He was very hands-on with the new Beavis and Butthead stuff. I did really like the new 2 seasons of Beavis and Butthead that were on Paramount Plus. They're funny.
The movie was
quite a
good
few
too.
episodes. Yeah, the movie was good too, but the episodes were better than the movie, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah,
I think the show is best suited for 10-minute segments.
That, and I actually really like the old Beavis and Butthead more than because they bifurcated the timeline where they exist in the original timeline and they exist in a new one where they're
I like that actually.
It's cool because it gives you 2 perspectives, 2 flavors of it.
One of my favorite episodes was the one where they cheered on their apartment getting crushed.
Yes.
And then there's even stuff where they get stuck on a roof. That was hilarious.
I like the one where Beavis needs a new kidney and they bring Stuart back.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I just think I've never seen King of the Hill. Like, these type of shows are just not my thing. But what is interesting, it says new generation of young writers, and you just know that's just a red flag.
Let me give you this here. It says, as mentioned previously, Mike Judge and Greg Daniels are returning as writers and executive producers, with writing credit also going to Saladin K. Patterson from the Wonder Years reboot, which is a little bit of a red flag there. I didn't hear much about that show other than nobody really cared about it and it got canceled pretty quick. Alongside Daniels and Judge, executive producers are Dustin Davis from Blue Mountain State, Howard Klein from The Office, the original Office. They mentioned Saladin K. Patterson again, and Michael Rottenberg from Office Space. So it seems like there are some pretty well qualified people working on this, but you know, again, I
don't like that new generation of writers comment.
Yeah. I mean, is Pamela Adlon, because she's just the voice of Bobby, and I'm curious, they haven't announced what this timeline is going to look like. Is this going to pick up like as in season 13, or are they going to jump ahead? Because they haven't been clear on that.
Yeah, is it its own thing, or is it a revive? Is it going to pick up? That's a good question.
Yeah, because I mean, if they were to put it in the future, I can't really see Pamela Adlon voicing Bobby. Now, I think if she were to voice anybody, it would be GH, because I'd be interested if they cut ahead in time where, you know, Luann and Lucky maybe died, and Hank is raising their daughter. Hank and Peggy are raising their daughter in the same way that they raised Luann. That could be interesting and kind of be like one of those, what do they call it? Like a, sequel reboot sort of situations. You know, have Bobby as an adult, but have GH kind of be the new Bobby, because I can't really see, you know, Hank's stepmom wanting to raise GH.
Well, we'll find out what they say when they mean young generation of writers and if it'll be any good. However, moving along, did you guys see what Madonna did this weekend?
Yes.
How embarrassing is she? Have you seen her Yellow and Flash at Arch?
I haven't heard about her latest hijinks. This should be
Oh,
nice.
okay.
Oh,
All right, we have a video
never.
here just for you, Yellow Flash. All right.
Take this ride with me. What are you doing sitting down over there?
So she's saying, "What are you doing sitting down over there?" In case it's
What are you doing sitting down?
what are you doing sitting down? And then they
Oh, okay.
oh.
Politically incorrect. Sorry about that. I'm glad you're here.
He's in a wheelchair. wasn't
Yeah.
I didn't realize I was talking to
he?
Sentry.
Of
Yeah,
course.
politically incorrect. I'm glad you're here. It was a lady in a wheelchair. For someone who's all about, you know, like all these things, and she's like, "Oh my God, treat people with respect." Why are you singling somebody out in your entire stadium? Like that's just so cruel. And it's like, what if they're sitting down because they have like a bad back and you can't even see that? Like, why? They paid money to see you. Why are you coming to attack them? And especially when somebody's in a wheelchair, it's just like, boy, she's a moron.
Well, I mean, she's getting up there in age. I mean, she doesn't have the best eyesight. Yeah, not that Batman says it, but Donna's eyesight's probably gone.
Yeah, maybe.
know. I'm more shocked that she gave up on having the British accent. Remember when that was a thing for her?
No, I just remember Meghan Markle pretending she was British for a day or two. Oh, thank you, very nice. Yeah, wow. What do you think, Arch? You like Madonna?
Nope. American celebrity. Terrible.
Is she like not even like a thing in Europe or in Norway specifically?
I mean, she must be like, I don't know how many hundreds of years old by now.
Who's
That is
older,
true.
Madonna or Taylor Lorenz?
Yeah, you know what? You're right. All right, so I have one more quick hit for you guys before we hit the rest of Super Chats. Have you seen what Miriam Margoyles has been saying? She's basically saying that like Harry Potter's over. She's wondering how Harry Potter fans have a sex life. She's saying that Harry Potter is only for children. So, Yellow Flash, have you read the Harry Potter books?
I haven't read the books. I've only seen the movies.
Are you a fan of the movies?
The third one made me a fan.
Okay.
The first two I did not like, but the third one did make me a fan. The third one is great. It's still my favorite out of all of them too.
All right. What about you, Arch? Have you read or seen the Harry Potter?
I read a few of them when I was but a wee lad back in the days. But in Norway, we get everything 5 years after everybody else. So I got like, I think I started with Prisoner of Azkaban. Was that the first one? I think that was the first one.
That's the third book.
Third
movie.
one. Yeah, that was my first one.
Okay. And Extrazero, have you read or seen Harry Potter?
I've seen the first movie.
You're one of those weirdos.
Yeah, well, my wife is a super fan. You two would probably be like besties. She even put like some Dumbledore light switch outside of my office. She's read all the books and she's a big fan of the movies and Fantastic Beasts, and she has Hogwarts Legacy and has played, I think, all the EA games. So I hear about it here and there from her. I haven't picked her brain on this story yet because I did see it over the weekend. And it's interesting because, you know, as somebody that's into like Transformers fandom, and, you know, I was a big Star Wars guy, I've never seen anybody attack adult fans like this before.
I mean, have you met Harrison Ford?
I've never met Harrison Ford, but I know
Harrison Ford is just grumpy old man.
Yeah, but he's always been like a grumpy old dude for like
He
decades.
obviously hates Star Wars.
Yeah.
Though when I was at Star Wars Celebration 2017, he and George Lucas took the stage together, and everybody there in Orlando was surprised to see him because it was an unannounced appearance and it was on the main stage.
That's cool. I must have paid him well. But yeah, I think
I think he likes George because he obviously loves Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
True.
Though he did just take a paycheck for that new one.
I think
Yeah.
also too, he was very close to Carrie Fisher, and of course they also had an alleged affair back in the day.
No, it's true. She wrote about it in her book.
Well, that's why I say alleged affair, because I don't think he's ever said that it happened, other than you have to ask her, you know, that sort of thing. But you know, I think when she passed, that kind of, I think that was the sole reason they even got him for Rise of Skywalker outside the paycheck.
Yeah, true. But basically, this woman who, granted, she's made her life on acting years before Harry Potter. She's very famous in the United Kingdom, done a lot of noble works. I haven't seen all of her stuff, I'm not gonna lie. I only really know her from Harry Potter. But I just think it's really funny, this woman who, you know, is making a shit ton of money because she does cameo. She's literally saying, I do cameo, and these people are telling me about their Harry Potter weddings and stuff. It's like, you are getting paid by these people to just say something really quick. You're making easy bucks. And you say you're grateful, but obviously you're not, because you're saying, oh, it's for children. But that could be the same for like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who, all these massive IPs, Marvel, DC, where you go and you still collect and you like the things that you liked as a child. It's like, what's so wrong about that? Is anybody getting hurt from this? No. So why are you saying such bullshit to me? I don't understand these celebrities. They live in their whole other world and they just spew bullshit. She's also one who say, I like making people uncomfortable. So who knows if this was just like her thing, trying to make them feel.
I have a question for you on this, Blabs. If she was at a convention, would this sway you away from meeting her, or if given the opportunity, would you
really
still
had an interest to meet her in the first place? Completely honest, like I'd rather go and meet, I don't know, Tom Felton or something again. Like I have her autograph. It's literally right like in front of my monitor. It's like authentic. So I already have that. So I don't really need it to meet her. And she said a couple of things already that I'm just like, you're a bit odd, aren't you? So, I have no real interest in meeting her, to be honest. What about you, Yellow Flash? Would you ever want to meet her?
No.
I didn't think so.
No.
All right, let's look at some memes real fast before I get to all of the rest of the super chats. Let me share this one. Okay, so we have this one. Legion of Memers, MAGA Chief, because the Halo guy. All right, we have women. How big is 9 inches really? And isn't enough? Oh God, international sex symbol.
Wait, who made that one?
That's some Bebop. Answer the hard questions and more in a tell-all interview. Gosh. And then we have this one. See you, Blabs. I'm going to find my balls. Take care. Goodbye, Craig. Psych scores is mine now. I shoot him. I hope someone finds my balls and wishes me back to life. And then you ate babies. Yeah, honestly, when they say Sweet Baby Inc., in all honesty, I always think of that scene in Nanny McPhee, the first one, where the original maid, the nursery lady, she's like, they've eaten the baby. That's what I think of. All right. 60 watts says for $5. I play games to get away from the terminally online, not so I can put up with them in my games. Correct. Armor says, God dang it, Bobby, not a modern retelling.
Bobby, not a modern retelling.
Peter says, let's be honest, when the voice of Dale died, the King of the Hill remake was dead on arrival.
I disagree with that. Johnny Hardwick was a big part, and I miss him, but I think as long as the original, if they have the original writers, they can do Dale justice still. And there's some really good impersonators out there on YouTube, and you know.
All right. John Kanji, members for 10 months. P4G is a masterpiece. Who's your favorite P4G Yellow Flash?
What's the question again?
P4G is a masterpiece. Who's your favorite character?
I don't know. It's not like that's one of my favorite games. So
he doesn't have a favorite character.
Yeah,
he likes them all. All right. Let's move on. Alan says, not to change the subject to Haiti, but has anyone seen the cooking film Parents from 198? It still holds up for what it is, but hard to hold down. Never seen it. Never heard of it. Willing Through Life with Brian. Shake my damn head, Madonna. Sure. And D's nuts for $2. Melanie Dare sign Jingle Bells. Lock her up. I don't think so. Peach Tea. Helen Barron is a babe. Shout out to whoever made that meme. Blabs, ask her to come on the show. Dude, it'd be so fun to have her on. I like her.
She did a response too. Did you see her response?
I saw that.
Yeah.
She was very classy. She was like, to be honest, I don't know who this woman is, nor do I care. And she was like, I've been picked on my entire life. I don't give a crap. And I thought that was amazing. Let me see if I have anything else to catch up to. Okay. Mercenary says, and I don't know if I got this one already. I remember that the guy who made Night in the Woods and all the money he made. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if his sister helped commit Minecraft, but don't put it past these people to be that evil and actually do that for the money for Sweet Baby Inc. Okay, and then he follows up and says, to my earlier one, when I saw the differences in the translation versus what was originally meant in Skies of Acadia Japanese, let's just say my jaw hit the floor and almost went to China. I want genuine not woke crap. Gamergate 2.0 won't quit this time. And then lastly, he says, let me make this easy for you. Mike Judd also does Beavis. He did a short promo for Alex Jones of Hank Hill and Beavis for promoting InfoWars. This guy
Doesn't he do Butthead as well?
He does both of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And he also does Mr. Anderson.
Yep.
Obviously.
That's his inspiration for Hank Hill, I think.
All
Yeah.
right.
His inspiration for Hank Hill is just the stereotypical Texan, like the old Texan
voice,
guy. Yeah.
The voice is the same.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Arch, what do you got going on for you?
Not a whole lot interesting right now. Honestly, just doing the usual YouTube grind, working away.
All right. And what about you, Yellow Flash?
Same thing.
Everyone's just grinding.
Grinding.
What about you,
Grinding.
Extrazero? What do you got coming on?
Well, you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, at Extrazero08. I'm shadow banned, but if you like memes, I'm a good account to follow. If you're interested in getting in touch with the Legion of Memers, also a good account to follow. I think I see here Kratos Elgreda saying you got one more meme.
Yep, just found it.
So I also have my own channel. If you're into action figures, Transformers, anything to do with the collecting space, it's called Figure Action. We are on every Thursday at 9 o'clock Eastern. So we'll be talking a lot about TFCon Los Angeles this coming Thursday. So if you're interested in that, check us out there. It's a completely apolitical show. And then, of course, I have the meme stream with No Green Rocks every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. You can check us out over on the Legion of Memers channel. All
right, let me play this one last meme for everybody. I will not hijack the channel and make it Harry Potter. I promise. To be fair, though, it was just a 5-second thing. Anyway, I'm going to try to do Craig's outro. Wish me luck. All right, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got to go get it. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Fatality.